In my junior year, the principal called an emergency assembly that felt different from any other. As we sat down, I noticed all the teachers had red eyes, like they'd been crying in the break room. The principal stepped up to the mic, her voice cracking, and announced that our favorite chemistry teacher, Mrs. Andrews, had terminal brain cancer. She only had 3 months left. The room erupted in sobs. Mrs. Andrews was the heart of our school. She stayed late for anyone who was struggling and bought supplies out of her own pocket for kids who couldn't afford them. She refused to stop teaching, but every week we watched her deteriorate. Her neat handwriting became shaky. She started forgetting things mid-sentence. One day she actually collapsed during class, but while she was waiting for the ambulance, she insisted on finishing her lesson from the floor. That was the last time we saw her in person. Our class decided we weren't just going to sit there and wait for the end. We turned our final chemistry project into a massive research paper on experimental brain cancer treatments. We spent weeks combing through medical journals, staying late every night. Even the bad kids were pulling all-nighters doing research. We ended up with a 100-page report filled with every promising clinical trial we could find. By the time we finished, Mrs. Andrews had slipped into a coma. We sent the report to her husband anyway, and he read it to her every single day. The doctor said her vitals would actually improve whenever he highlighted a new section. One of the obscure trials we found was for a treatment in Finland that her oncologist hadn't even considered. Because of our report, the doctor made some calls and Mrs. Andrews was accepted. The morning announcements turned into daily updates. The tumor shrank 3%. Mrs. Andrews opened her eyes. 4 months later, we heard a familiar set of footsteps in the hallway. Mrs. Andrews walked into the classroom, thin and weak but alive. Those 3 months turned into 3 years, and she's still teaching today. Some projects are for a grade. This one was for a life.